Hello everyone, this is Tim, also known as Rex, and this is going to be my second video of this series. This video is going to be exactly what is Asperger's. So I did a Google search and this was the first thing that came up. So I'm going to read this and go over with it and also then come back and explain which one of these, however many of these I have personally. That way I can try to explain it a little bit better. So here's the webpage. So Asperger syndrome. People with Asperger syndrome see, hear, and feel the world differently to other people. If you have Asperger syndrome, you have it for life. It is not an illness or disease and cannot be cured. And often people feel that Asperger syndrome is a fundamental aspect of their identity. Autism is a spectrum condition. All autistic people share certain difficulties for being autistic will affect them in different ways. Some people with Asperger's syndrome also have mental health issues or other conditions, meaning people need different levels and types of support. People with Asperger's syndrome are of average or above average intelligence. They don't have the learning disabilities that many autistic people have, but they may have specific learning difficulties. They have fewer problems with speech, but may still have difficulties with understanding and processing language. With the right sort of support, all can be helped to live a more fulfilling life of their own choosing. So here it talks about how common it is, but it only mentions the UK. But like in the UK, it says over 700,000 autistic people in the UK. And here it goes with how do people with Asperger's syndrome see the world. Some people with Asperger's syndrome say the world feels overwhelming and this can cause them considerable anxiety. In particular, understanding and relating to other people and taking part in everyday family, school, work, and social life can be harder. Other people appear to know, intuitively, how to communicate and interact with each other, yet can also struggle to build rapport with people with Asperger's syndrome. People with Asperger's syndrome may wonder why they are different and feel their social differences mean people don't understand them. Autistic people, including those with Asperger's syndrome, often do not look disabled. Some parents of autistic children say that other people simply think their child is naughty, while adults find that they are misunderstood. Goes into a diagnosis, which is something only a licensed medical person should do. It's not something you should self-diagnose. Here we go into some of the problems. Persistent difficulties with social communication and social interaction. Autistic people, including those with Asperger's syndrome, have difficulties with interpreting both verbal and nonverbal language, like gesture or tone of voice. Many have a very literal understanding of language and think people always mean exactly what they say. They may find it difficult to use or understand facial expressions, tone of voice, jokes and sarcasm, vagueness, and abstract concepts. People with Asperger's syndrome usually have good language skills, but they may still find it hard to understand the expectations of others within conversations, perhaps repeating what the other person has just said. This is called echolalia, or talking at length about their own interests. It often helps to speak in a clear, consistent way and to give people time to process what has been said to them. For social interaction, people with Asperger's syndrome often have difficulty reading other people, recognizing or understanding others' feelings and intentions, and expressing their own emotions. It can make it very hard for them to navigate the social world. They may appear to be insensitive, seek out time alone when overloaded by other people, not seek comfort from other people, appear to behave strangely or in a way thought to be socially inappropriate. They may find it hard to form friendships. Some may want to interact with other people and make friends, but may be unsure how to go about it. Another one is restricted or repetitive behaviors, patterns of behaviors, activities, or interests. So repetitive behavior and routines. I have to admit, I don't really have them. one per se as much, but the world can seem a very unpredictable and confusing place to people with Asperger's syndrome who often prefer to have a daily routine so that they know what is going to happen every day. They may want to always travel the same way to and from school or work, or eat exactly the same food for breakfast. The use of rules can also be important. It may be difficult for someone to take a different approach to something once they have been taught the right way to do it. They may not be comfortable with the idea of change, but may be able to cope better if they can prepare for changes in advance. Highly focused interests. Many people with Asperger's syndrome have intense and highly focused interests, often from a fairly young age. These can change over time or be lifelong. It can be anything from art or music to trains or computers. An interest may sometimes be unusual. One person loved collecting rubbish, for example. With encouragement, the person developed an interest in recycling and the environment. Many channel their interest into studying, paid work, volunteering, or other meaningful occupation. People with Asperger's syndrome often report that the pursuit of such interest is fundamental to their well-being and happiness. That one I'm very guilty of. Sensory sensitivity. People with Asperger's syndrome may also experience over or under sensitivity to sounds, touch, taste, smells, light, colors, temperatures, or pain. For example, they may find certain background sounds, which other people ignore or block out, unbearably loud or distracting. This can cause anxiety or even physical pain, and they may be fascinated by lights or spinning objects. So that's all I'm going to go over with right now from the website. And now I'm going to go over some of my own history with it. So going over like the repetitive behaviors and routines. I do tend to eat the same thing for breakfast every day, so I was a little bit wrong earlier. I do the same routine basically over and over. I eat eggs and bacon every day. I drink soda, 2 liters every day, and that's my main drink. It's what gives me comfort, and it's just what I do. And as for another part that I read is I do take things at very face value. So, for instance, when I was 8 or 9 and my dad said that he regretted I was ever born, I literally took him at his word the longest time that he hated me and didn't want me. When my wife said she hated me, I literally thought she meant me. That's just how my brain works. When someone says something like that to me, I assume I have to believe that they mean exactly what. And as for highly focused interest, I'm very, very guilty. I love computer games. I've been playing the same game, EverQuest, for 21 years, and it gives me joy and comfort, and I've made some of the best friends I've ever had in my life are actually in a computer game, and there are people I have never met in real life because they didn't have to see me, they didn't have to talk to me, like all they cared about was like I was good at my class, I could do what I was supposed to do, and I was a team player, and that's all they cared about. Cared about my actual personality in game based on what I typed and how I acted. They didn't care about what I look like, or that I have bad teeth, or that I lost all my hair to alopecia, or that I'm got other health issues. They didn't care about any of that. So I valued their friendship maybe higher than I should have, but they were people I could talk to about things I couldn't talk about to anyone face to face. And as for the friendships, that's right. I've had one good friend, well, technically 2, but it's only ever one at a time. I had one best friend growing up until he had to move away when I was in elementary school. And then about 3 to 4 years later, I got another friend who I knew the whole time, but I'm very, very slow to trust. Just hard for me to trust someone because I assume everyone is going to hurt me. But it took me 4 years to consider him my new best friend, and I've known him now since I think I was 11 or 12 years old, and to this day he is still my best friend. He's the one that I'll go out hang out with. I don't have any problem hanging out with him. It's being in a room full of more than 6 or 7 people, and it just gives me anxiety like you wouldn't believe. And all I want to do is I want to run and I want to be alone. Maybe that's just why I'm bad at relationships. I feel more comfortable being alone. I don't know how it makes me a bad person or just bad at relationships or what, but I can't tell what someone's feeling, and I can't even tell what I'm feeling most. Like, due to everything that's happened, my emotions are either so repressed or I just no longer really feel very many emotions. Something triggers something. If I see a dead animal on the road, I feel sadness. Or if someone is yelling at me and I feel like I'm under attack, then yes, I'm going to get angry right back. Other than that, on a day-to-day basis, I don't feel any emotions at all. This is part 2. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll like and subscribe. Great day.